Hello, welcome to Scrap Time, episode 1035. My name is Christine, and on today's episode, I'm showing you my new stencils, the textured shapes and layered patterns. Today I am showing you two of my latest stencil designs. This first design is called Textured Shapes, and when I designed my stencils, I drew them with a marker, a Sharpie. And so these are little like Sharpie lines. And then the circles, and that's why it's not like this nice exact circle. They're more circles that you would just sort of draw, and I think it makes it more organic and works better with art journaling. And then that's why my triangles here, you don't have those crisp points. They're nice rounded edges, as well as the squares. So for me, that's the type of texture I like, is the shape, but it's a little bit more rough than your precision shapes. So I'm going to show you what these look like. So here I use the circles, and I want to show you how you can overlap the circles. I'm going to do it with all the shapes just to get a really cool pattern on your card or art journal. Here is the little lines. Here we have the triangles. And then the squares. Then I also used them over top of some inks I had, so I used the squares and the circles, some lines and triangles. Here's the triangles and the squares, and then the circles and the dashes. Then another cool thing is you can use them to cover notebooks. And you can make some really, so I used the squares, the circles, and the triangles. And because the books were gray, it gave the colors, they were a little bit more dull. I used archival inks on these covers. But you can see how it really dresses up a notebook. That's really great. You could give as a gift. Now my second stencil is the layered pattern, and these are triangles, circles, and a scallop, and then I have little triangles, circles, and little scallops that fit within each of the shapes. And they're not necessarily all centered. You can see the circles are sort of wonky all over. So I'll show you those. So that's, here we have the triangles after they're layered up. The scallops, and the circles. So I'm going to, I have this little notebook here I got from Muji, and I'm going to use the circles to cover it. I'm going to start on the edge, and I'm going to overlap the gray just a bit there. And I'm going to use Distress ink in Mowed Lawn and my little round applicator. Now I never take down my stencils, but if you want, you can always use some washi tape and take them down. Now because your background is craft, the color will be a little more muted than if you were doing it on, like I did that other one on white specialty stamping paper, and it was quite bright. So I'm going to move down the stencil a bit so I'm not getting an exact row of circles. I love these new little tools here, applicators, because they're smaller. And they're great for using on stencils and stuff. And then I can move it down a bit again. And I can see the circle I made through the stencil. I make my stencils with Duralar, which is like a stencil film. And so they're reusable. You can use them with acrylic paint, with inks, spray mists, whatever you'd like. And I'm going to do one more row here. And of course you can use these on cards, in art journals. I'm just showing you how you can use them for gift giving. Muji is a Japanese store, and we have one now in Toronto. And so these books were $1. So there you can see, even just like that, how fun that is, all the little circles. And so now I'm going to come in here. So I'm going to see, where did I start this? Ah, there it is. So I'm going to, now you can put these any way on your circles. You can see by moving them around. You can position them anywhere you want. Now if you use distress inks on a stencil, I would highly recommend cleaning it off afterwards, because if you go in with another color, then it will, the color will rub off. So if you're using like acrylic paint, you don't have to clean it off, but if you're using any sort of water-based medium, I would wipe it off. So I'm just moving it along and coloring in all those dots. And I have my last row here. And there, like that, we have a really cute book here that I could add now to a gift for somebody. And that's the fun thing about this stencil, is just the layering, and how I have the little dots that layer on top, and then the triangles and the scallop. So I hope you check out my stencils. They're available on my Etsy shop called Scrap Time Shop. And I have these 2 stencils as well as previous stencils that I have released. Well, that's it for today's episode. Be sure to check out our website at www.scraptime.ca. And on our next episode, I'm showing you some ways to document your next vacation. So please join us. Thanks for watching Scrap Time.